Yeah, the whole thing's weird. But my main concern about Formula One is how are you going to keep 20 or 10 teams interested in being in the series at this point?
Because there's a lot of money.
Yeah, but you have to spend so much too.
Well, that's where the sponsors come in. I mean, it's
sponsors. Are they going to care in 10 years?
Probably. They care now. Why wouldn't they care in 10 years? F1 still gets a lot of exposure. Especially in Europe. It's not as big here, but in Europe and the rest of the world, it's one of the big things.
Are you sure? I feel like it's not a big thing anymore.
It is.
Okay.
Welcome everybody to Fenway Park.
Let my announcer talk.
Hi and welcome everybody. This is Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow here for MVP Baseball.
Sunday.
Welcome to an American League game that features the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the Boston Red Sox.
And the Boston Fucktards.
The Bostonian Red Sox.
Alright, so here's my theory.
Here's the game.
Do you think
First
that
batter,
more exposure, like having ESPN and NBC Sports and this sports and that sports channel, is actually ruining sports because it has too much exposure on a daily basis?
I think the issue, and I think there are a lot of sports that are running into this issue, is that the network deals are killing them because the networks have picked a darling that they care more about and bury the stuff they don't care about.
What do you mean?
If you flip on SportsCenter, what sports do they talk about ad nauseum?
NFL and basketball.
Up the middle.
Meanwhile, they have baseball content. They have motorsports. They don't talk about it. They bury it. They run it 3 hours a week, maybe.
I've told my roommate this. I really feel like part of the reason why baseball is less than it used to be is because they just don't talk about it as much.
Yes,
it has more to do with the media than being boring.
Yes. Well, baseball has some issues.
Yeah, but it's been the same issue forever.
For 100 years, yeah. Then they are finally starting to do some stuff about it. I firmly believe that they play too many games. They play too many games, and the games are a little too long at times.
I don't think they play too many games.
My argument for there being too many games is more than 100 games. There end up being games in the middle of the year that just don't really end up mattering.
That's true, but
like I would be all for, either a shorter season or just cutting some games out of the season.
I don't think games should be cut for statistical comparison reasons from season to season.
I mean, there are more games than there were at some point. So at a certain point, you got to go, hey. There's always going to be a little bit, the format changed a little bit here. Just like, you compare fucking Richard Petty's 200 wins to Kyle Busch's. You can't compare them like for like. So much is different. First off, Richards won the Cup Series.
Right.
But the Cup Series wasn't what the Cup Series is now, so...
It's so hard to say that that's the problem when it's been that way for 60 years, and even before that, it was still a lot of games.
The thing is, baseball hasn't changed. People's tastes have.
And baseball's tastes are worse than they used to be, in my opinion. Because their tastes are more quality, or quantity versus quality. Which is why I think the media coverage for basketball and football is skewing the whole thing. And I think the NFL is still okay.
I'm going to disagree with people wanting quantity over quality. If people wanted quantity, they'd be eating up baseball because it's 162 goddamn games for each team.
Right. No, you're right.
They want quality games, not quantity of games. Just like, I would rather watch a 100-mile NASCAR race that has a lot of passes up front, a lot of action, than watch a 600-mile race with the same amount of on-track passes as a 100-mile race. I'd rather have it all condensed into a much shorter format if it's, exciting. It's one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of the Coke 600. It feels like it's the amount of action of a 400-mile race, except it's 200 more miles.
I do want to say something about that. The proper commentating can make a race that's boring fun. And I've noticed this, because if you watch the 97 Coke 600, it's really, really interesting the way Ken Squire describes and tells stories, and even though Dale Jarrett's pulling away from the field, he makes it interesting.
Here's the thing that currently commentators do not do that I will say baseball commentary is very good about this. If nothing's happening, they go into their bag of stories and start telling a story that might be related to the guy's dad, the manager that they were just talking about, or the umpire crew, or something about the stadium. Like they have these stories that they can go into, that they fill this dead air of a game that may not be a game that on face value is interesting to watch. They find something to do. Motorsports commentators are not doing that during most races. You do get that during endurance races.
With 1 inning played, the game is scoreless.
You get a lot of that, especially with the Radio Le Mans broadcast for IMSA races and the Le Mans, those guys are fucking great. NBC does not do that ever. Anytime they want to tell a story, it's a fucking cutaway package, and it's fucking bullshit.
I also don't think they're good commentators. Jeff Burton is a terrible commentator. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is a terrible commentator.
I think Jr.'s probably one of the better ones because he actually has passion and has stuff to talk about, but
He's
frankly,
phony.
Burton can be a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little dry and sometimes just doesn't make a mistake. Frankly, Rick Allen needs to be shot. Rick Allen is appealing to the screaming 2-year-old in the corner.
That's another problem. People scream too much. And I don't know why. Like, even Mike Joy, it's like he's forced to be happier while he's broadcasting to please the millennials. When before, like in the 90s and early 2000s, he would just commentate like a normal person. And now that it's only 2 people in the booth, he's doing more, which is not good.
Yeah, like, getting excited, like...
It's not your job as a play-by-play guy to get excited.
Well, yeah, you don't need to force it, but if you're legitimately excited about what you're seeing, I don't want you to hide it. Like, as much as it became a meme, Junior getting all excited about that slide job felt very natural and true to me.
It was horrible commentating, though.
It was not great commentating, but you got to, he was also a very new commentator at that point, but, when something actually exciting is happening, you can hear the excitement in the voices they're watching thing, because I want the commentators to be fans like us.
I do too, but I don't know. There's like a level of professionalism mixed with the joy. Like Dick Berggren's a perfect example. Professional and fun. Not screaming.
Misses for a ball. He was hoping the batter would go fishing at the pitch out of the zone.
Pitch in tight for a ball.
So apparently, that survey ended with a sign up for what appears to be F1's version of the fan council.
Nice.
I didn't know they had one.
Well, now you know, and now you can be part of the cult.
I mean, Tony, I'll put it this way. I've been a lifelong F1 fan. I didn't become a NASCAR fan until like the mid-90s. When I started like, oh, this is also racing. I should try watching some of this.
They have a cornflakes car? Sign me up.
You know what's funny about that? You know what my first NASCAR diecast was?
Terry Labonte.
Yeah, Terry Labonte's 96 car.
Oh.
And then from 1996.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
not the DLP
car. Like, what?
No, not that. I realized immediately. Oh, he actually drove a 96 car. Yeah, like
curveball for a strike.
At the end of '96, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to get into this and start watching a lot more NASCAR races than I used to watch. And I started getting diecasts. And I tried to get diecasts of all the cars for '97. I got a lot of them. Most of my diecasts from '97. 97, 98, and a few from 99, and then I sort of stopped because it started to get hard to find.
Next at the plate, Manny Ramirez. There's a close pitch called a ball.
This pitcher rings up K's with great frequency every time he toes the rubber.
There's a line drive.
Hey, that's a great play on a very tough line drive.
Let's go through this somewhere else in the dock, so it's not in the way today.
There's a strike.
Will also need to be amended because a bunch of races have actually gotten moved.
Usually get the night off.
He goes the other way.
Like, the entire beginning of the IndyCar schedule has been shifted.
Dude, I can't wait. Indy cars.
Well, their first race, I think, is Barber in
Scoreless.
April now?
Barber Motorsports Park?
Yes. Tony, you should probably nominate some keepers.
Some what?
I think you told me you plan to keep Harvick and Hamlin, but you don't actually have that on your team sheet yet.
Oh.
So you might want to make that official or tell me to make it
When's
official.
my pick?
Takes a ball, and it's 1-1.
You have pick 6 in round 1 and the second pick in round 2. And it's a snake draft, so it does that thing like football blocks. And the draft order is based on the points from last season. So Zach has the last pick, you have the 6th pick, I have the 5th pick, Spears is 4th. Kevin is 3rd, Alex 2nd, Dalton's 1st, if he actually is playing.
I've seen this guy make these kinds of plays before. This time
I have a weird hunch what I'm going to end up doing is say, hey JB, you want to just like take over Dalton's team and draft for him?
It's hard to imagine another hitter who struggles as much as this guy does against righty pitchers.
Did that all make sense? It's a lot like how the fantasy football drafts work, where your keepers are your first 2 rounds of picks anyway.
Right. I'll have to keep
On the ground.
Harvick and Hamlin. I don't think you can do it another way.
All right, I will put that in. That's what you had told me before. It just never went into the sheet. But I already had it penciled in for your draft order.
They were just too good last year not to keep. It's like
Yeah,
if you were to make a board, it would probably be Hamilton, Harvick, Hamlin.
It's frankly a fucking joke that one of them didn't win the championship.
The pitch is hit to
Harvick
Like,
should have won the damn thing.
It shows you what a joke the format is. That the 2 drivers that like won every fucking race. Neither one of them was champions. Let's see.
They didn't win every race, but Harvick was clearly the best, and Hamlin was clearly the second best.
Like, if Harvick had lost to Hamlin because of format stuff, would be like, okay, I mean, that's somewhat legitimate. Looks like Spears is only nominating 1 keeper.
Interesting. Don't tell me who it is.
Do you have any guesses?
I don't know who's on this team.
And on 3 pitches, he's gone.
You don't know who his top F1 driver was?
Hamilton?
Yeah. That's a good keeper, isn't
Oh,
it?
you shouldn't have told me.
Why shouldn't I told you? You can see it. It's on the sheet.
Air is
Oh.
the next hitter.
The keepers aren't hidden. They're where you can see. I've been bolding them on the sheet as people nominate them as keepers, so you can see who's going to be removed from the draft order.
I see.
Right now, people that are already nominated as keepers on the NASCAR side, Chase, Brad, Denny, Harvick, and Truex are nominated as keepers. F1 keepers nominated already are Hamilton, Bottas, and Verstappen. And there's 1 IndyCar keeper that's been nominated, and that's Sato.
What?
Sato!
Is Kevin?
Guessers? Yes, I was going to say, why don't you just guess
Oh
it?
my god.
2.5.
Why
Yeah,
would
so
you keep
why would you
Sato? That's like keeping freaking David Gilliland. Only
Yeah,
a little better.
Let me see who's on his team. Well, he's keeping Sato and Chase are his keepers he's nominated. His F1, his Cup team was Chase, Byron, DiBenedetto, and Buescher. His Xfinity team was Cindric and Sniet. His truck team was Sauter and Deegan. F1 he had Norris and Raikkonen. Yeah, I wouldn't keep Raikkonen. Yeah, that was His flex spot was Carson Hocevar. For IndyCar, he had Herta, Sato, and Marco. Marco would be a terrible keeper. I think he said, I might
He's
keep
not even
Marco.
driving this year.
It's like, Marco's only running 1 race. Oh, never mind then. If I were him, I might have gone with Chase and Cindric. But Cindric's a gamble.
At first base.
God, this guy can flat out swipe a bag.
But I think, I don't know if Cindric's even that much of a gamble. He's probably going to do alright this year. But that I think would have been a better keeper for him. But, I let people make their own decisions.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Dalton hasn't nominated anybody. Alex hasn't nominated anybody. Alex is probably going to keep Kyle Busch. And anybody else on this team, if I'm going to guess, if I were Alex based on this team, I would keep Kyle Busch and Sergio Perez. Those are the two I would keep.
Pickoff attempt.
If I had Dalton's team,
The zone. That's a ball.
he's got Bowman, Logano, Newman, and Stenhouse, Allgaier, Annette, Crafton, Freeze, and Science, be it Magnuson, well that's not a keeper, Power, Hinchcliffe, and Beach. I might keep Logano and Power out of that team.
3-2.
I will say,
He gets the base on ball.
because of the way it's shaken out, somebody I'm looking at maybe picking up early on,
Next up, Miguel
if I
Cabrera.
can, I might go for Scott Dixon.
Red-handed pitching.
Why wouldn't you?
A pitch just off.
Exactly. I mean, the only reason he wasn't a keeper for Zach is because Zach had some other people that were also really good people to keep.
Sometimes you try to make the hitter chase your pitch. That's exactly
Like, he would be insane to get rid of Botas. So you gotta keep Botas, right?
Yes.
Especially given that, at the moment, Lewis Hamilton isn't actually 100% confirmed to be coming back. I think they're still working on his contract, but I'd be shocked.
I'm sure he's coming back. Let's face it. He's either going to retire or come back. There's no in between.
Well, I'm not necessarily retired, but not have a ride.
He's delivered.
Yeah, okay.
He could take a year off, and then
Why would you
come
take
back
a
and
year
take
off? That's the dumbest thing you could do in any sport, is take a year off.
You're not wrong, but people have done it. People have left F1 and come back. I mean,
Delivery.
I'm not going to say I wouldn't be excited if it was announced in 5 minutes. Lewis Hamilton has not re-signed with McLaren, with Mercedes, and has instead signed with Dale Coyne Racing to come race IndyCar.
Help me, God.
I'd love to see Lewis give IndyCar a try, or any other discipline. I kind of hope that maybe he quits F1 before he's done driving and goes and races some other stuff, just so he can see.
He's not going to race IndyCar. He already put himself in the bed of IndyCar is not very competitive, or whatever he said like 5 years ago.
Yeah, people's opinions change. I'd love to see him go do sports cars. Hell, I'd love to see him try his hand at running a couple of NASCAR road course races. He's driven the cars before.
The Devil Rays have a right-hander.
I don't want to see him running NASCAR.
You don't want to see Lewis Hamilton run a cup race at Watkins Glen?
I don't want to see him suck.
Oh, but see, here's the thing. Wouldn't it be great to see him run that and get his ass kicked by half the cup field and go, these guys are better than I give him credit for?
Will he say that, though?
If they kick his ass, yes.
I think he already knows that he'll get kicked in the ass.
I think he would do okay. I don't think he would win, but I think he'd run alright.
Oh, me neither. He's not going to win. Come on.
A thread on Jalopnik. What terrible race car driver did you root for when you were younger?
Bill Elliott.
Hit to left field. Berkman puts it away.
What's terrible? Like 20th or worse in points?
Get a nice pitch there to get the fly ball. Nice work.
And
Yeah, I don't know what their class is terrible. I'll read it a little bit, but I
Gets
need
it
to.
out to center.
Because when I was a kid,
I need to
Damon
comment
makes
on
the
something.
catch for the
when I was a kid, Bill Elliott was my favorite driver, but he never
Nice pitch
won.
there to get the fly
But he
ball.
wasn't
Nice work.
bad. And then Dale Jarrett was my favorite winning driver
The center
at
fielder
the
has
time.
a long way to go to catch this one.
But I would say Joe Nemechek maybe was my third favorite, so I'll say Joe Nemechek. But even
Yeah,
he
but
won a
even
couple times.
But let me see how they're classifying terrible.
Okay, there aren't too many guys around here that can turn that double into a triple.
Like Carl Long terrible.
Okay, most of the articles about how they fell in love with Marussia.
What team is he on?
No, that was the team.
Oh,
You don't remember the Marussia F1 team?
oh, I thought we were talking about NASCAR.
Hit towards
I
the
think they're
short
talking about
side.
every sport, but that was their example.
Well,
There's
the
an out. Going into the bottom of the fourth, it's a 1-1
Patriots before
tie.
Bledsoe or before Brady. The current Patriots.
This guy's pretty successful.
Any version of the Patriots without Tom
I'm
Brady.
gonna say almost nothing. There's maybe one person in the comments, maybe two here, that have actually put down anybody that I would even say was a terrible driver.
Mahomes takes
And even then, I think they're being unfair. Yeah, no, they're being unfair.
What's on the list?
One person has put down 3 NASCAR names, and I think they're probably deserving of being shot for these names.
What are the names?
Wendell Scott,
He's walked the lead off me.
Tiny Lund, and Tom Pistone. No, that's just reading for people that aren't going to win.
Wait, who's the second one?
Tom Pistone?
No, the second one.
That was the second one.
1-0 the count.
Did you not hear the third one?
Oh, you're not done yet?
There were 3. Wendell Scott, Tom Pistone, and Tiny Lund.
No, you said Tiny Lund second.
2 balls and no
Oh,
strikes.
did I say him? Okay, apparently my dyslexia is taking over. One here that I can kind of agree with is Vitor Mira.
That's exactly what you saw right there.
Was he bad?
He walks him to put
He
runners
was
on
not good.
first and second.
Oh.
I'm trying to think if there are any genuinely terrible drivers I've ever rooted for to see them do well. Oh, I've got one. Tony, you're gonna like it.
Joe Nemechek.
Michael Waltrip.
Nah, I mean, it's so
He was
hard.
pretty terrible,
That's
right?
like a borderline one.
Okay, how about Darrell Waltrip in the late 90s?
Yes.
I'm trying to think if there are any drivers I've ever pulled for that are legitimately bad drivers. That, they're not going to do well, but I like to see them out there. I can't really think of any.
I don't want the bad drivers to be in the sport, so it's hard to root for them.
Also, Tony, I did the math. In our 24, I ran 1,400 and some odd
Hey, partner,
Miles?
if you keep the ball low in the zone, he might be able to induce a ground ball to start too.
Yes.
it was an insane distance we covered.
You finished 6th, right?
4.
Here's the pitch.
Oh, congratulations.
And he takes
Who
the
was
Great
the...
eye right there. He was patient, worked the
How many
pitch,
drivers
ended up with a
finished?
free pass.
It was hard to tell at the end because a bunch of people seemed to have finished, but then were DQ'd for not meeting driver requirements, so it kind of looks goofy.
ball 1-0.
How do you not meet driver requirements?
Takes it.
If you nominate a driver who doesn't run their fair share, you're DQ'd.
What's a fair share, like an hour?
And it's 2 balls.
Well, most of these teams, they didn't drive at all, so that's why they got DQ'd.
Oh.
There's a line drive.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So, Tony, it used to be you signed up the team, anybody that was a member of the team could race. Now when you sign up the team, you have to nominate which drivers are going to race, and if one of them doesn't race, you're DQ'd.
I see.
That prevents, to some extent, people smurfing their team by having, 12 drivers, but only running 4 of them, and having the other 8 be, 200 I-rating people to drag you down to a lower split.
Inside for a ball.
Here's a great opportunity for a cheap run to sack fly. All he's got to do is lift it to medium deep outfield. Sometimes
Well, how
you
many
try to make a hit
people
pitch,
got
it's
disqualified in
exactly
front
what
of
saw
you?
right there.
None.
Okay, so your 4th was like legitimate set in stone 4th.
Yes, we were 4th on the track at the end of the race.
Okay.
We were the 4th car overall and in class.
He walked them with the bases full.
Hey, partner, they managed to take advantage of some control problems on the pitcher. They picked up a couple of cheap runs.
The Devil Rays bring in a new pitcher. They're calling for a reliever. He delivers.
A deep fly ball here should score a run. They have to keep in mind the right fielder has a cannon.
Strike with a fastball. He delivers.
Alright, well I'm sitting here doing nothing. I could do something and update this car. So you wanted the Jets on it, their colors.
The pitcher
Oh,
runner on third will try to
No, that's
score.
gonna be fine because that's a font.
And a run
Whew! I
scores.
was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to redo the number. I'm gonna have to redo the number. They're a font, so they're terrible redoing.
To me, that's
It needs to be a
successful at
Jets car with Jets colors, essentially. But keep the Hard Rock Cafe logo on there.
You don't want it set for a MetLife logo?
No.
Now, have you pointed out to Logan that this is going to be ironic to me?
Sometimes you try to make the
To do a Go Jets car opposed to a Go Jet car?
Slider is low for a
I
ball.
don't think he cares, Tim.
I mean, that is kind of funny, though,
He
right?
delivers.
Yeah, I'm laughing hard
The
now.
count's
Are you not getting the irony that the car is to Go Jets and I work for Go
out of the
Jet?
zone. That's a
That
ball.
is kind of funny, actually. But I won't
Now
let
that,
him know.
now that I filled that in for you.
Yeah.
3-2
Yeah,
count.
Jets logo from the Kadia.
Both runners are moving.
Yeah, you know how much trouble I had getting the shape on this car to look like it's supposed to? Like, for some reason, this car seems to defy Euclidean geometry.
Well, that's fine. Just let it defy it.
I'm gonna need to look at Jets uniforms.
5 innings remaining. The Red Sox lead 4-1.
Because I'm noticing,
Next up, Sean
What-
Figgins.
what's the third color in their uniforms?
Tell by looking
Black?
at his swing that he looks way more comfortable
Yes.
batting left-handed.
I don't know if you can get that to look good, though. That's the hard part.
I'm gonna try making the orange black. The teal became green, and the white staying white. Let's see how that looks.
He comes up a little bit short.
I may end up deciding what I need to do, however,
Base hit to lead
is
off
maybe do the opposite. Yeah, that doesn't look good. Oh, I know what I can do. I can also make the orange green, and that might actually look okay.
Like two different shades of green.
No, also green.
Okay, this dude knows
Everything
how to
green.
Well, no. Well, it's a green stripe with a white outline, but
It's a slow roller over towards third. Another single.
yeah, except all the other orange is gonna look weird. Yeah, I may need to make the base white and make the orange. Just make the orange.
Crawford steps into the batter's box.
I'll figure something out. I'm looking at all sorts of New York Jets nonsense, seeing if I get any good inspiration. The green definitely needs to be a little metallic like the Giants. That's for sure.
Liner right at the third baseman. He's on with a single.
Okay, I think I have an idea. This might work. Let's see how this looks.
Up next, Aubrey Huff.
Hey, get to it, Bill. Shoot for it. Here we go.
I think green for the base is going to be good because all the logos are going to be white. And so that'll actually fill up that negative green space with a lot of white.
4 runs, 1 swing in the bat. You talk about efficiency, but on top of that,
It's
just
going
great
to work
hitting.
out.
The manager is going out to stall so his guy in the bullpen can finish warming up.
Sometimes a trip to the mound will do nothing but get the pitcher thinking too much, which usually means trouble.
A pitching change will be made. Here comes a new pitcher.
Pretzels. Pretzels. Pretzels.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your eyes on the action at all times. Baseball's hit into the stands and beginning.
Line drive right to the second baseman. He's on first with a base hit.
Hey, back it up for 2.
Hey, he throws up the fastball, but the batter was ready for it, and he hit it hard.
BJ Upton.
Let's go, boys. Here's 2 right now. There we go, playing third base.
That one just missed.
If ever they're going to steal a bag, it's right now with this guy. He really knows how to steal a bag.
pulls one on a line.
Hey, third base!
A double.
It's not often that you throw a perfect pitch and see it get hit for a double.
Out of the plate. Center field.
Field shoots one.
Nobody out.
Going home.
He comes up a little bit short.
Going home.
That's an RBI single.
Hey, middle, let's stay tight.
That's why this guy's got a spot in this team. He's a good executor. He can make things happen.
Yeah, I think this will work.
Outfield, find 3 on the hip.
Plus, she wants to get the locals. Okay, so
It's a base hit.
player only logos.
That's an
Those are
RBI single.
not the.
Good pitch hit right there, and he put it in the outfield for a single.
Now, Tony, did you have any idea what that Predatory Loans logo was from?
No, I don't know where you got that
Swings and
from.
lifts one to right.
Are you familiar with the Jackbox dance?
No.
Oh, they had a.
In doubt.
They make all sorts of fun kind of party style games where you do all sorts of zany things.
First and second.
Like they have ones that this game they have called Fibbage. Where basically like you're given a question as a group, and then each of you on your own device you put in an answer to that question, and then it puts up all those answers and the real answer, and your goal is to get people to pick your fake answer. It's kind of like, what is that game? There's an old like analog game that was like that. I don't know what that's called. Balderdash.
He's plowing away for the strike.
Where you try to get people to pick your fake answer.
I recognize the name of the game, but I don't know what Balderdash actually is.
I think that's based. It's similar to that. I think Balderdash is one where
He flips it to
we'll
the
submit definitions for a word. I think there is a Jackbox game that's that, but they had one that it wasn't as good a game as some of their other ones, but it was like you would draw an art piece. They would give you a title for an art piece, and you would have to draw what you thought that was on your device, and then people would end up bidding on them. It was a convoluted game, wasn't very good, and there was a money system. And if you ran out of money, you could take out a loan, and that was the logo for their fake loan company was Predatory Loans. That's where that logo came from. It was a screen grab from the game that I had to then really work to isolate because it was kind of goofy.
I just assumed it was a real thing. I didn't know there was a whole story
No.
behind it.
It's from a game.
Going into the bottom of
I
the
see.
fifth. Boston
So it's not
held by
predatory
3.
loans, it's predatory loans.
Yes, predatory.
Understood.
That's why there was a shark.
Companies
And you know
put
what?
weird logos on their companies.
And you know what? I'll just throw out shark, dolphins. It all works.
Well, I just screwed it up for you.
That's fine.
One ball and one strike. One and two.
Now, shouldn't they be the New York Football Jets?
What do you mean?
I mean, if they're the New York Football Giants, shouldn't they be the New York Football Jets?
They're called the New York Football Giants because there used to be the New York Baseball Giants.
No, I don't know.
So the
There's
answer
all-
to the question, no.
Watch this left field.
You don't think it sounds better to call them the Football Jets?
I mean, it sounds good to call them the Football Patriots.
Patriot. Yes, the New York Football Patriots.
Oh,
The
God.
New England Football Patriots does have a ring to it. I actually kind of like that.
Gone.
3 pitches.
Well, they
3
do
strikes,
play
they didn't
football,
use your
Tim.
net mark.
Stepping
These
in.
guys are ruining a perfect good game of football.
John.
Just needs to focus on getting the
John
base
Wayne
hit,
commercial.
drive that runner in from
And
center.
it's small talk. Football.
Low and inside.
Sometimes you try to make the hitter chase your pitch. That's exactly what you saw right there.
I might need a second
Hit to
version
center
of the
field.
logo for this. Do they have just a text logo that they use?
run crosses the plate. That's an RBI double.
Hey, he does a great job of knocking the
I
run
think
in
they
the miss.
really do. I'm finding all sorts of fake Jets logos that look terrible.
This hitter enjoys modest
Isn't the
success
idea of
against
making a
right-handed
new
pitching.
logo to... Oh my god, the alarm clock. Ah! Help me, God! Ah!
Oh my god, that was...
Alright,
great.
back to normal.
Why do you have an alarm set?
I was gonna wake up at 8 o'clock, but I woke up early.
Why did you even have an alarm set today?
So I don't waste my
And
day
on 3
sleeping?
pitches, he's gone.
3 pitches, 3 strike, doesn't get easier
Okay,
now.
I typically don't set an alarm unless I have somewhere I need to be.
I have to be here.
Huh.
Anywhere that's not sleep.
When I work in the afternoon, I usually don't even set an alarm to be awake by then.
Well, that's your prerogative.
The home plate ump asked for...
Although I started setting an alarm for like noon. So there was one day where I woke up at 1:15 and went, oh, I'm glad I woke up. So I like to need to leave in 15 minutes.
Those are always scary. It's like,
Like, oh.
this could have been really bad. Oh well.
With 4 innings
Let's
Oh,
go
well,
on like it's
let's
normal.
7-5. Stepping in 2 for 3, Aubrey Huff.
This could be a long day for this guy. He's got nothing on the mound right now.
Yeah, he's taking all day.
Nothing in 2. Nobody out. And tight. Swing and a miss. Struck him out.
He just didn't put the ball in play.
Jets logo not working well with the fucking camera pod on the back of the car.
It's not stretchy enough. It's only 4 letters long.
Well, the real issue is that the new in New York keeps ending up behind the camera, which means I may just take the camera off or shift the new slightly. I don't really think there's a way to do that though. It's not. Probably just gonna
He swiped 2 bases.
camera off the back, so about the shadow of the camera. All right.
That's a 3-pitch strikeout.
Hey, partner, the steal turn. That strikeout was the old hat trick for that guy.
There, I'll just move the New York slightly up.
DJ Upton.
How about you sit? He's a looker.
Sinker missed inside.
Sometimes you try to...
They don't use these helmets anymore, do they?
What you saw right there.
Ground ball to the right side. He flips it to the pitcher covering.
No dying on my watch, Tony.
Going into the bottom of the 6th,
Nah,
the Devil Rays
we're driving
lead by
good.
2.
Not that shit some more.
The top of the order coming up. Outside for a ball. Dirksen lays off inside for a ball. He swipes 6 bases. 2 ball, 1 strike count.
I assume the Copperfit logos were okay too.
Yeah, those are fine.
Yeah, those were solely based on the fact that Dan Marino was involved with the original car.
Down he goes on strikes.
Well, you talk about making a good pitch right there. He was really
And there'll have to be another color.
And then he digs deep, makes great pitches, and gets the strike.
Well, so about those Copperfit logos. Apparently they're
Takes
not on
a
the
tailing
car now.
fastball.
Sometimes you try to make the hitter chase your pitch. That's
Apparently
exactly
I
what you
erased
saw
them,
right
so I'll have to re-add them.
No swing.
What? The easy way to do this is to reopen the original program. I just copied them again.
On the ground.
But so you did get all the other cars, because they're all in the file for Alpha.
Yeah, I've got them all. Thank you, Mr. Tim.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure exactly what it is you're looking for with these Allstate cars, but I think I'm figuring it out.
No, the Butterworth car looks really good. I'm happy with it.
Alright, yeah, I had that in 2 colors.
Appeal
For
the
you.
first on the check swing.
I'm sure you noticed that I gave you both a white and a black one.
Thank you,
And
sir.
on 3 pitches, he's gone.
So maybe you can put them both then, you know. Kind of like how I have 2 cars, but only able to see one of them for some reason.
Lashed.
Yeah, you got a Bush Bonanza car now.
That's not exactly what I meant, but okay.
Go, cut you up the middle. There, go play third base.
He's batting .290 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs.
Hey, partner, if the pitcher can keep the ball low in the zone, he might be able to induce a ground ball to start.
I was more talking about how I have 2 variants of the Caterpillar car, but you only ever run one of them.
Well, one of them looks better than the other.
Oh, well, I may agree with you there, but I don't agree on which one I think looks better.
The left fielder has a long way to
Oh,
go
come
to
on.
catch this
The
one.
Ward car looks better.
I always liked the reverse scheme. I ran that more than the regular scheme.
Yeah, but it's extravaganza. You're a champion. Promote your
And
normal
here's the
colors.
delivery.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that was the normal color.
So you agree?
No, I'm saying the other one was the normal color. I ran that more.
That guy hit the ball pretty good, but he did a good job of going to get it.
Driving good.
This is 2021, Tim. We're prepared for the new
He delivers.
and not the old.
Figgins.
You take the good, you take the bad, you put them together, and then you have.
Yeah, something like that. Of course you have the bad because you win the championship every year. But we're going to see what happens this year. I feel like somehow Broderick is going to ruin your season.
I think I say I feel like somehow I've destroyed your ratings. So you're gonna win.
No, you're not old enough to have your ratings destroyed yet.
Unlike who?
2-2 count.
Others.
Like is that why Rick did so poorly?
He was negative on the dice roll, yes.
Is this a D20?
All right, everybody, up on their feet.
Your silence
for the
speaks
7th inning stretch.
volumes. Almost said pages.
I didn't understand what you said.
I said, did this die happen to be a D20?
I don't know how to answer that, Tim.
It's a yes or no question.
I don't understand the question.
Next up with 1 run.
Was it a D20?
A what?
A D20. It's a 20-sided die.
No. It's a 6-sided die.
Here's the
Okay, so
0-1
you didn't use a
delivery.
D20. That was the question. Okay.
Who has that?
Lots of people do. But you need D20s to play D&D.
He sends it over
We're not
towards
playing
first.
Dungeons and Dragons. We're playing Extravaganza.
Yes, a far more complicated game, so we probably needed 40. Thoughts, Tony?
I have no thoughts.
On the paint scheme.
It's hit out.
Go, Berkman! No, no.
Curves foul.
Does have the metallic layer in the wrong spot. I need to drag it up a little bit.
Gets
But
up. He'll
Let me
use the
finish
time.
this up. No, okay.
that's okay. I'll have a new link for you because I realized the metallic layer wasn't over the
Rounded
green
to the
stripes
right
either.
side. They got him.
It'll look a little better with the metallic on all the greens to some degree. Although I might have to move the hood logo. Yeah, I got some of the hood logo because it needs to be metallic too. Hang on. More tweaking is occurring.
He swung through the pitch. Here's the 0-2 pitch.
Well, that's because I put it down.
And on 3 pitches, he's gone.
Now, plate. Second baseman.
Okay, this is hopefully the last time that I will take this exact same screenshot, Tony. There you go. All right.